What if every student in America, from a Title I school in Detroit to a remote Alaskan village campus, had a personalized AI tutor that understood Common Core and their cultural context? This AI tutor could spot a math misconception in real time, or help a newcomer from Venezuela grasp biology terms without waiting weeks for an ESL specialist. That's not speculative fiction. It's the urgent, achievable frontier of AI-driven EdTech, and it's already reshaping how the U.S. tackles its most persistent education challenges. Right now, over 300,000 teaching positions sit unfilled nationwide, a crisis hitting rural districts and high-poverty urban schools hardest. AI won't replace teachers, but it can amplify them. Imagine a 7th grade science teacher using an AI assistant that auto-generates differentiated lab reports. One version with sentence stems for emerging bilinguals, another with extension questions for advanced learners, all aligned to NGSS standards. Or a special education coordinator deploying an AI literacy coach that adapts decodable texts on the fly, tracking phonemic awareness progress across IEP goals. No extra staff required. The key is integration, not disruption. The most successful U.S. pilots, like those in Baltimore City schools or the Cajon Valley Union District, embed AI tools within existing workflows, syncing with Google Classroom, pulling roster data via Clever, and exporting progress to PowerSchool. Offline functionality matters too. Think students on tribal lands with spotty broadband using cached AI modules on school-issued Chromebooks. Language diversity is another massive lever. With over 5 million English learners in U.S. public schools and hundreds of home languages represented, AI-powered translation and scaffolding tools aren't luxuries. They're equity enablers. Early pilots in Los Angeles Unified show 22% faster reading fluency gains when AI provides just-in-time vocabulary support in students' home languages. But caution is critical. Algorithmic bias has real consequences, like AI essay graders penalizing African-American vernacular English or recommendation engines steering girls away from advanced STEM pathways. The fix? Mandate third-party bias audits. Use diverse training corpora, including student work from HBCUs and Hispanic-serving institutions. And co-design with students. Teens in Oakland recently helped refine an AI mentor's tone to avoid sounding like a robot principal. Finally, federal and state policy must catch up. ESSER funds can be used for AI pilots, but guidance is murky. The Department of Education's 2023 AI report offers principles. Now we need implementation playbooks for districts. This is how America builds an education system where zip code doesn't determine learning trajectory. If you're building, teaching, or leading in this space, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because in Part 2, we'll unpack how states like Tennessee and Washington are using AI for early literacy at scale, and the 4 technical non-negotiables for any EdTech team entering U.S. public schools.
Let's talk scale, because pilot projects in one school won't move the needle for 50 million U.S. students. The breakthroughs happening right now prove AI-driven EdTech can work at district and state levels, but only when design, policy, and pedagogy align. Take Tennessee's AI Literacy Core, a state-led initiative embedding lightweight AI tutors in every K, 3 classrooms statewide, trained on TN academic standards and optimized for Chromebooks. Early results? A 34% reduction in students falling below benchmark in foundational reading by mid-year, not by replacing teachers, but by giving them real-time alerts. Asterisk, Jamal's struggling with vowel teams. Try this 5-minute intervention. Asterisk. Teacher agency is non-negotiable. The most adopted tools, like CanMigo in Chicago Public Schools or CogniEye's Open Response Tutor in Massachusetts community colleges, succeed because they augment decision-making, not automate it. Educators control the AI's role. Is it a practice partner? A formative assessment analyzer? A multilingual scribe? One district in Arizona even lets teachers fine-tune the AI's feedback tone, switching between coaching, Socratic, or direct instruction modes depending on class culture. Rural and high-need districts benefit uniquely. In Appalachia, where broadband gaps persist, schools are using AI tools that sync overnight via school buses acting as mobile hotspots. Students download lessons in the morning, work offline, and upload responses when back at school. In New Mexico, an AI-powered science lab simulator lets students run virtual AP chemistry experiments, number $80,000 lab equipment required, with safety checks and error analysis built in. Funding is shifting, too. The FCC's proposed $5 billion AI for Education Connectivity Fund could subsidize AI EdTech licenses for Title I schools. Meanwhile, states like California are updating procurement rules to prioritize tools with transparent data governance, FERPA-compliant architectures, and interoperability via EdFi APIs, ensuring AI doesn't create new silos. But the biggest unlock? Student voice. High schoolers in Brooklyn co-designed an AI study buddy that detects cognitive overload not just through quiz errors, but via mouse movement patterns and time on task, then suggests a 90-second breathing break or switches to a visual summary. That's human-centered AI, not surveillance, but support. The lesson? AI in U.S. education isn't about flashy chatbots. It's about reliability, access, and respect for educators' expertise. When done right, it closes opportunity gaps, not widens them. If you believe technology should serve every learner, not just the privileged few, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss our deep dive into HealthTech, where AI is transforming maternal outcomes, mental health access, and chronic disease management across America. What if an AI system could predict 48 hours in advance that a pregnant woman in rural Mississippi is at high risk for preeclampsia and automatically alert her community health worker with a tailored care escalation plan? This isn't hypothetical. In Alabama, a pilot using EHR data, social determinants, and wearable vitals is already cutting severe maternal complications by 27%. That's the power of anticipatory health tech, shifting from fee-for-service to prevention at scale. The U.S. spends more on healthcare than any nation, yet ranks last among high-income countries on access, equity, and outcomes. AI isn't a silver bullet, but it is a force multiplier for frontline workers drowning in administrative load and systemic gaps. Consider behavioral health. With only one mental health provider per 600 people nationally and ratios as bad as 1 to 5,000 in parts of Montana, AI-powered screening tools are becoming lifelines. In Colorado schools, an NLP-based chat interface lets teens self-report mood trends anonymously. When risk patterns emerge, it triggers a warm handoff to a school counselor, no stigma, no waitlist. Rural hospitals face existential threats. Over 130 have closed since 2010. AI is helping them do more with less. Radiologists in North Dakota now use FDA-cleared AI triage tools that flag potential strokes on CT scans within 90 seconds, buying critical time before teleradiology consults. In Kentucky, community paramedics use tablet-based AI-wound analyzers to assess diabetic ulcers in home, reducing ER visits by 41%. But interoperability remains the silent killer. Too many AI tools live in silos, disconnected from Epic, Cerner, or state HIs. The winners are building integration first, APIs that plug into existing workflows, HL7/FHR-compliant data pipelines, and clinician-designed UIs that add seconds, not minutes, to charting time. Bias is another landmine. An algorithm trained mostly on urban hospital data may miss subtle sepsis signs in elderly Native patients or misinterpret pain descriptors in Black communities due to historical undertreatment patterns. The fix? Mandate diverse training cohorts, including FEHC and tribal clinic data. Audit for outcome parity, not just accuracy. And crucially, patients must own their role. Tools like My AI Health Coach in California Medicaid let members ask questions in plain English, is this rash an emergency? And get vetted, visual-rich answers, no medical jargon, no Google rabbit holes. This is how America builds a health system that's not just high-tech, but high-touch, high-trust, and high-equity. If you're building, regulating, or delivering care in this space, Hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon because in Part 2, we'll reveal how AI is slashing readmission rates in Medicare, transforming chronic disease management, and why the VA's AI rollout is a blueprint for the nation.
Let's cut through the hype. AI in U.S. healthcare isn't about replacing doctors. It's about reclaiming time. The average physician spends 2 hours on electronic health records for every 1 hour with patients. AI scribes, like ambient voice assistants, are now saving 7 to 10 hours per week per provider in systems like Kaiser and Mayo Clinic. This reclaimed time is redirected to complex cases, family conversations, or simply avoiding burnout. Chronic disease, responsible for 90% of U.S. healthcare spending, is where AI delivers outsized impact. In diabetes management, AI platforms analyzing continuous glucose monitoring data, food logs, and sleep patterns can predict hypoglycemic events 6 or more hours in advance. A pilot with United Healthcare showed a 33% drop in ER visits among high-risk seniors using such proactive nudges. For heart failure, AI models trained on echocardiogram videos and claims data now flag early decompensation signs, like subtle fluid buildup, weeks before symptoms worsen. The VA is quietly leading the nation with its Lighthouse AI program. This initiative has deployed 38 validated tools, from PTSD risk stratification for returning vets to AI-assisted pathology for prostate biopsies. All these tools are open-sourced, rigorously audited, and co-designed with clinicians. One tool reduced time to antibiotic for sepsis by 52 minutes, a massive survival boost. Policy is catching up, too, with the 21st Century Cures Act pushing interoperability. CMS now reimburses for AI-assisted remote patient monitoring under CPT, code 99457. The FDA's new AI or ML software as a medical device pathway has cleared over 700 tools, but with a key requirement: real-world performance monitoring. No more set and forget. Yet the biggest barrier isn't tech, it's trust. Patients won't use AI if they fear data misuse or opaque decisions. The solution? Radical transparency. Some startups now provide AI explainability cards. These visuals show why a risk score was generated. For example, high risk flag due to 3 missed appointments plus rising creatinine plus zip code food desert index. Others let patients correct AI assumptions, turning passive users into active partners. Finally, equity must be engineered in, not bolted on. AI that only works with smartphones excludes 27% of seniors and 41% of low-income adults. The most inclusive tools offer voice-first, SMS, or even IVR interfaces. No app download required. In South Carolina, an AI-driven hypertension program using weekly automated calls in Gullah dialect achieved 2.5 times higher adherence than standard text reminders. This isn't about futuristic gadgets. It's about building a healthcare system where your zip code doesn't dictate your life expectancy, and where AI serves as the quiet, scalable backbone of that promise. If you're committed to health innovation that actually works for real people, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because next, we're diving into climate and AgriTech, where AI is helping American farmers boost yields, cut emissions, and outsmart drought, all while feeding the world. What if an Iowa corn farmer could know, 10 days in advance, exactly which 12 acres of her 800-acre field need water and how much, down to the gallon? This precision could cut irrigation costs by 30% and significantly boost yield, transforming agricultural practices. This isn't a fantasy, it's happening today, powered by artificial intelligence. AI fuses satellite imagery, soil moisture sensors, hyperlocal weather forecasts, and historical yield maps to provide this critical data. In a time of intensifying droughts and volatile commodity markets, AI isn't a luxury for U.S. agriculture. It's becoming a lifeline. The stakes couldn't be higher, as American farms feed the world yet face compounding threats. For instance, 40% of the Midwest is currently in drought, severely impacting crop production. Topsoil is eroding 10 times faster than it forms, threatening long-term agricultural sustainability. Supply chain shocks, like the Mississippi River low water crisis of 2023, cost billions and disrupt food distribution. AI helps turn vast amounts of data into actionable resilience, providing farmers with the tools to adapt. Startups like CropX and Tyrannies deploy computer vision drones that detect early signs of nutrient deficiency or pest outbreaks. These drones don't scan entire fields but prioritize high-risk zones flagged by predictive models, optimizing resource use. For example, one California almond grower reduced pesticide use by 45% using AI-targeted sprays, protecting pollinators and margins. However, equity can't be an afterthought, especially for small and minority-owned farms. These farms, representing 95% of U.S. operations, often lack the capital for high-end sensors and advanced technology. The breakthrough lies in phone-first AI solutions, making advanced tools accessible to everyone. Apps like Microsoft's FarmBeats use just a smartphone camera and free satellite data to generate comprehensive field health reports. In the Mississippi Delta, Black farmer co-ops are using voice-based AI advisors in southern dialects. These advisors provide real-time advice on cover cropping, requiring no typing or Wi-Fi, just cellular access. Climate risk modeling is also shifting from federal agencies to farm-level tools, empowering individual producers. The USDA's new Climate-Smart Commodities program funds AI pilots that quantify carbon sequestration per acre. This initiative turns sustainability into verified, sellable credits, creating new economic opportunities for farmers. Ranchers in Colorado now receive dynamic grazing recommendations, such as moving herds to specific pastures based on soil moisture and fire risk. Utilities are also joining in, leveraging AI to manage critical resources more efficiently. In drought-stricken Arizona, AI models forecast urban water demand with 92% accuracy. This allows for tiered pricing and leak detection before main breaks occur, conserving precious water. In Texas, grid operators use AI to predict renewable output swings during heat domes, preventing blackouts. This integration allows for more solar and wind power to be safely added to the grid. Yet, the biggest bottleneck isn't technology, it's trust among farmers. Farmers won't share field data if they fear it'll be used against them in insurance or land valuation. The solution lies in federated learning, where AI trains on device, sharing only insights, not raw data. Farmer-owned data cooperatives, like the one launching in Nebraska, also give producers control and collective bargaining power. This is how America secures its food, water, and climate future, one intelligent, equitable decision at a time. If you're building, farming, or policymaking at the Climate Agriculture Nexus, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because in Part 2, we'll reveal how AI is slashing methane from dairy farms, predicting wildfire spread in real time, and why regenerative agriculture just got a $1 billion AI upgrade. Let's talk scale, because isolated farm pilots won't move the needle for a $1.3 trillion U.S. agriculture sector facing existential climate pressure. The real shift is happening in infrastructure. The USDA's $3.1 billion Climate-Smart Commodities initiative is now funding AI-integrated projects across 70-plus states. These are not just sensors and satellites, but farmer training, data literacy programs, and interoperable platforms. These platforms speak the same language as John Deere's Operations Center or Climate Field View. Dairy farming, responsible for 20% of U.S. AG emissions, is undergoing an AI-powered methane revolution. In Wisconsin, startups like CaneDust use overhead cameras and audio AI to monitor cow behavior, digestion, and feed intake in real time. Algorithms then adjust rations to reduce enteric fermentation, cutting methane by up to 18% without productivity loss. Bonus: early illness detection slashes antibiotic use. This isn't just sustainability, it's profitability. Wildfire response is another frontier. California's CAL FIRE now integrates AI from startups like Pano AI and AuroraTech, analyzing feeds from mountaintop cameras and weather stations. This helps to predict fire spread minutes after ignition, not hours. One system in Sonoma County triggered automatic evacuation alerts 22 minutes faster than human spotters during the 2024 Kincaid fire. Meanwhile, AI-powered drones map burn scars and prioritize risk-seeding zones using soil vulnerability models, accelerating recovery. Supply chain fragility exposed by pandemic and floods is being rebuilt with AI visibility. Platforms like TraceGains and IBM Food Trust use blockchain plus NLP to scan shipment docks, weather, and port congestion data. This predicts delays before they happen. When the Ohio River dropped in 2024, soy exporters rerouted barges 72 hours early, avoiding $8 million in demurrage fees. But the most profound shift is in soil intelligence. Legacy soil maps are decades old. New AI tools, trained on hyperspectral drone data, soil cores, and farmer logs, generate dynamic soil health scores at 10-meter resolution. In Kansas, regenerative farmers use these to prove carbon drawdown to buyers, unlocking premium contracts with General Mills and Danone. This turns stewardship into bankable assets. Policy is accelerating this. The Inflation Reduction Act allocates $19.5 billion for climate-smart AG, much of it flowing to tech-enabled practices. And the new FDA Food Traceability Rule, FSMA 204, mandates AI-ready data standards by 2026, forcing interoperability. Yet success hinges on inclusion. Programs like the National Black Farmers Association's AI Mentorship Initiative ensure smallholders aren't left behind. Because resilience isn't just about data, it's about dignity, autonomy, and intergenerational land stewardship. This is how America feeds itself and the world without burning the future. If you believe technology should serve people and planet, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because next, we're diving into GovTech, where AI is modernizing everything from disaster response to SNAP eligibility, and why agencies like FEMA and the IRS are finally moving at startup speed. What if applying for food assistance in America took minutes, not weeks, with AI guiding you through eligibility in plain English? Imagine AI auto-filling forms from verified data and flagging when a neighbor with similar needs got denied unfairly. This isn't utopian thinking. In Michigan, an AI-powered SNAP modernization pilot reduced processing time from 30 days to under 72 hours. This pilot also cut wrongful denials by 22% by detecting inconsistent adjudication patterns across caseworkers. Government isn't broken, it's overwhelmed. Federal agencies face 30 to 50% staff turnover in critical roles. State DMVs often drown in legacy systems older than most employees, and disaster response still relies on paper forms and fax machines. AI isn't about replacing civil servants. It's about freeing them to do high judgment work. At the IRS, AI now auto-resolves 68% of simple taxpayer inquiries, freeing agents to handle complex identity theft or small business cases. In Los Angeles County, an NLP tool scans 311 calls in real time, routing mental health crises to train peers, not police. This innovative approach has cut unnecessary emergency room transports by 39%. But the real revolution isn't equity by design. Too often, government tech widens gaps, but AI can reverse that if built right. After Hurricane Ida, FEMA used geospatial AI to overlay flood models, property records, and community-sourced damage reports. This allowed them to prioritize aid to historically overlooked neighborhoods where satellite imagery alone missed informal housing. In New York City, an algorithm auditing 311 service requests revealed systemic delays and pothole repairs in majority Black zip codes. This triggered automatic reassignment and transparency dashboards, ensuring more equitable service. Predictive maintenance is another quiet win. The city of Pittsburgh's Bird's Eye View uses AI to analyze decades of 311 data, weather, and traffic patterns. This system predicts which water mains will fail next, not just reacting after they burst. The result? 40% fewer emergency breaks, saving millions and minimizing disruption in vulnerable communities. Yet trust remains the biggest hurdle. Citizens fear AI will depersonalize services or embed bias. The antidote? Radical transparency. Some states now publish algorithmic impact assessments. These are plain language reports explaining what data and AI uses, how decisions are made, and how to appeal. Others, like Colorado's Benefits Navigator, let users see the AI's logic. You qualify for WIC because 2 children under 5+ income, less than 185% FPL. This isn't about flashy dashboards. It's about dignity, speed, and fairness baked into the machinery of democracy. If you believe government can be responsive, not just bureaucratic, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because in Part 2, we'll reveal how AI is modernizing voting access and detecting fraud in real time without profiling. We'll also explore why the U.S. Digital Service is quietly rebuilding America's tech backbone, one agency at a time. Let's be clear, scaling AI in government isn't about tech, it's about trust architecture. The most successful U.S. deployments prioritize explainability, redress, and co-creation from day one. Take the U.S. Digital Services work with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Their AI eligibility screener for benefits doesn't just say approved or denied. It shows a visual timeline. We see your 2022 deployment records, but need 2023 separation docs. Upload here, or we'll request from DoD. Result? 55% fewer incomplete applications and a 4.8 out of 5 user trust rating. Fraud detection is another high-stakes arena, where blunt algorithms have wrongly flagged low-income families for SNAP overpayments, triggering traumatic investigations. The new standard? Precision auditing. In Utah, an AI system cross-references wage data, utility usage, and school enrollment, not to assume guilt, but to reduce false positives. When anomalies appear, it triggers a human review with context. This household's income dipped, but child enrolled in free lunch program. Recommend verification call, not suspension. Fraud detection accuracy jumped to 94%, while wrongful stops fell 61%. Voting access is also getting an AI-powered integrity boost. In Georgia, a nonpartisan tool uses NLP to analyze county election websites, flagging outdated polling locations or conflicting ID requirements, auto-generating plain language voter guides in 12 languages. In Oregon, predictive modeling helps counties pre-position ballot drop boxes where turnout historically lags, especially in rural and native communities, boosting participation by 11% in 2024. Infrastructure modernization is accelerating, too. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Law's $1.2 trillion includes $10 billion for smart infrastructure, and AI is central. The DOT's new Bridge Equity Index uses AI to prioritize repairs not just by structural risk, but by community impact. How many school buses cross it daily? Is it the only evacuation route? Does it connect a rural clinic? This shifts funding from worst bridge to most vital bridge. Crucially, open data is fueling innovation. Data.gov now hosts over 300,000 datasets, and agencies like NOAA and USGS offer APIs fine-tuned for AI training. Startups are building on this. One used FEMA flood maps plus parcel data to create a free tool helping small towns simulate climate-resilient zoning. No GIS PhD required. But sustainability demands workforce investment. The new AI Corps, a White House initiative placing 500 fellows in federal agencies, is training civil servants to manage, not just consume, AI. Because the goal isn't automation, it's augmentation, empowering public servants to serve with more empathy, accuracy, and speed. This is how America rebuilds the social contract, not with slogans, but with systems that work. If you're passionate about civic tech that actually serves people, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because next, we're diving into fintech, where AI is expanding credit access, detecting fraud in real time, and helping everyday Americans build wealth without Wall Street gatekeepers.
What if a single mom in rural Kentucky, with no credit history but a perfect record of rent and utility payments, could get a fair auto loan in minutes, not weeks? Or if a Black-owned startup in Atlanta qualified for SBA funding based on cash flow patterns, not just collateral? That's the promise of inclusive AI in fintech, and it's already unfolding across America. Traditional credit scoring excludes 45 million U.S. adults, disproportionately impacting communities of color and immigrants. AI is changing that not by lowering standards, but by expanding the evidence. Startups like Upstart and FICO's UltraFICO now analyze alternative data, bank transaction history, on-time rent, even educational credentials, to assess creditworthiness with 27% higher accuracy for thin-file borrowers. In a Federal Reserve study, these models approved 22% more Black and Hispanic applicants without increasing default rates. This isn't charity, it's smarter risk modeling. Fraud detection is undergoing a similar revolution. Legacy systems flag transactions based on rigid rules, triggering false declines that hit marginalized users hardest. Modern AI, like those used by Chime and Vero, analyzes behavioral biometrics, how you hold your phone, swipe speed, even typing cadence. One pilot with a CD-Fi in Chicago reduced false fraud alerts by 63% for low balance accounts, meaning fewer frozen cards when families need groceries most. But real impact happens at the community level. In Detroit, a nonprofit credit union uses AI to scan small business bank feeds and auto-generate personalized financial health reports, highlighting cash flow gaps, suggesting invoice timing, and connecting owners to micro-grants. One salon owner used insights to shift payroll day, avoiding $120 in monthly overdraft fees. That's financial intelligence as a service, not a privilege. The CFPB is watching closely and pushing for accountability. New guidance demands adverse action explanations in plain English. Your loan was declined because income volatility lasts 90 days, not because of your zip code. And tools like Mozilla's Lending Transparency Toolkit let developers audit models for disparate impact before launch. Yet challenges remain. Black box algorithms still dominate. And data gaps persist, especially for gig workers and informal economies. The solution? Federated learning and participatory design, like the FDIC's Tech Sprint, where consumers co-build tools with engineers. This is how America builds a financial system where opportunity isn't determined by your starting balance, but by your potential. If you believe finance should lift people up, not lock them out, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon because in Part 2, we'll reveal how AI is powering the next wave of community development, detecting predatory lending in real time, and why the Treasury's new AI for Financial Inclusion sandbox could change everything.
Let's talk scale, because serving thousands isn't enough when 100 million Americans are underserved by the traditional financial system. The breakthroughs happening right now prove AI-driven fintech can work at societal scale, but only when tech, policy, and community trust align. The Treasury Department's new AI for Financial Inclusion sandbox, a regulatory safe harbor for CDFIs and fintechs, is already accelerating tools that help immigrants build credit using remittance history, or let gig workers smooth income volatility with predictive cash flow buffers. Community development financial institutions are leading the charge. In New Mexico, a Navajo-led CDFI uses AI to analyze mobile money patterns and satellite imagery of home improvements, unlocking microloans for off-grid solar installations where traditional collateral doesn't exist. Repayment rates? 94%. That's not charity. It's context-aware risk assessment. Predatory lending is another frontline. AI can now scan loan agreements in real time, flagging hidden fees, balloon clauses, or APRs that violate state usury laws. In Illinois, a nonprofit tool integrated with legal aid hotlines alerts borrowers before they e-sign and auto-generates dispute letters. Early data shows a 31% drop in high-cost installment loan uptake in pilot zip codes. Wealth building is shifting from financial literacy lectures to embedded intelligence. Apps like Stackwell and Daylight use AI to nudge behavior. You spent $40 less on takeout this week. Want to auto-invest the difference? Or your credit utilization dipped. Try a $25 credit builder loan to boost score. For Gen Z, it's not advice, it's actionable momentum. The IRS is stepping in, too. Its new Direct File Pilot, a free, government-built tax prep tool, uses AI to auto-claim overlooked credits like EITC or child tax credit, especially for mixed-status households. In 2024, it helped 127,000 filers recover $213 million in unclaimed refunds, money that flowed straight into local economies. But the biggest unlock? Open finance. The CFPB Section 1033 rule Mandating banks share customer permission data via APIs creates a level playing field. Now, a credit union in Mississippi can plug into a national AI risk engine. Number $10 million tech budget required. Interoperability turns local trust into national scale. Still, ethics can't be outsourced. Leading firms now publish bias bounties, paying researchers to find fairness flaws and let users correct AI assumptions. No, that $200 transfer wasn't gambling. It was my church tithe. Because financial dignity means being seen, not just scored. This is how America builds an economy where capital flows to character and consistency, not just collateral and connections. If you're building, regulating, or advocating for a more just financial future, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Tap the bell icon, because next, we're launching a bonus episode on cross-sector AI, how EdTech plus HealthTech plus GovTech data fusion is predicting student dropout risk before it happens and intervening with wraparound support.